Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today we're going to be making the FIFA World Cup 2014 mascot, and I believe his name is Fuleco. I'm not really sure how one pronounces it, but anyway, this is him, the little, I think he's an armadillo. Anyway, we're going to do him on a single loom. We're going to need your base plates. The small base plates are going to only be holding columns 2 and 3. Okay, we're going to be using our loom in the standard configuration, which means all the columns are the same height. They are going to have the arrow facing towards you, or the open part of the peg facing towards you. We're going to be double banding, and double banding means you take 2 bands and you place them on the pegs together as if they were one. Let's get started. We're going to start by putting blue bands here, just 2 of them here, looking as if they're going to be doing absolutely nothing, and for the minute they are. They're just going to sit and look beautiful. Let's continue down. Now, it's always a bit tricky when you're making a figure on a single loom that was actually designed for an extended loom, but we're going to try, because I know not all of you have got multiple looms, and it can be frustrating when everybody is making things for extended looms and you just have a single loom. Here we go, here we go, here we go. We need a brown bead for his nose. And we are going to be using our Rainbow Loom hook, because it has the base plate removal tool, so we will be using that to move our base plates. Take a single yellow band, figure 8, loop it on itself, and pop your bead on your hook and drag that through so it's threaded. If your bead doesn't fit on your hook, then thread it any way you would normally thread it. It is going to sit here on the end of his nose, like this. And it's a bit of a tight fit. Okay, but don't worry about that. Okay, so that's going to sit there. So this is part of his face. We need to do a little bit for his body, so 2 bands here are going to be for his neck. And then we're going to use some white bands for his t-shirt. Now, we're making him at the moment in a 2D format, but after the fact we will be adding a 3D element to him. We're going to use green for his shorts. I'm using the metallic blue for his spine. If you don't have metallic blue, don't worry, it doesn't matter. You can use any old blue. Really won't matter too much at all. Pop this across here, and now we're going to do his legs. Now, for his legs, we're going to have to be a bit tricky, because we need to do 2 legs, and they need to be on the same. Both legs need to be on the same peg. I don't think you really want to layer them on top of each other. So what we're going to do is the second leg is going to just go here in front. So 2 bands here. But they are the same length and they will straighten out quite nicely. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, we're going to need some crossover bands, and I'm using clear because I don't want them to show through, and we've got a variety of different colours here, so we'll try and keep it so that it's not too distorted by having crossover bands of the wrong colour. Single crossover bands, single band that you're stretching across the pegs like so. This one, I'm sorry, this one has not got anywhere to go as yet, so we're not going to do that one just yet. Same applies here, we will put those on after the fact. This is going to go across here like that, and as I said, it's just a single band that we're stretching across these two pegs at the minute, and we don't need one here. Okay, so we need to do his feet. His feet are 2 brown bands. I'm using the caramel, wrap once and twice, and you're sliding that onto a pair of the yellow, and you're going to do that 2 more times. A pair of brown, wrap once and twice, slide on to a pair of yellow, reclaim the end, 2 brown, wrap once and twice, slide on to a pair of yellow, and then we're going to take a pair of yellow and move these all on like so, reclaim the end. Now we're going to do 4 pair. Oh no, we're not, I'm telling you fibs. I'm thinking we were on arms. Take 2 pair and wrap once and twice, and slide onto another 2 pair. And now we're going to take this first set, I'm going to take the 2 bands closest to the end of the hook, up and off, and put them on those 2 bands there. Swap sides on your peg and move these 2 up and over, and reclaim the end of your bands. So we've got a little right angle that we can use for his foot there. Okay, so we're going to attach that to the bottom of his leg. Let's do the other side. 2 bands, wrap once and twice, and we slide onto 2 bands and reclaim the end. 2 bands, wrap once and twice, slide on to 2 bands and 2 bands, wrap once and twice, and slide on. Reclaim the end of your band, then we're going to slide these on. And now we do our right angle. Wrap once and twice. Slide on. Move the first set over. Swap sides. Move the second set over. And reclaim the end of your bands and angle it to go one way or the other, and that pops onto this leg as well, just here. Okie diddly dokey. We can move this down and grab those 2 bottom yellow bands and loop up and loop up and loop up, pull the foot back to expose the 2 bottom bands, and loop up and loop up. Now I don't want this leg to be on top of this leg, so I'm going to take these off for the minute, hold them out, loop this up, and then I'm going to replace these here like that. Okay, now I'm going to dig down for the 2 top green bands and loop to the side, and I'm going to ease that by just pushing my hook around the outside. Dig down, we're finding the 2 bottom bands. Hey, you're not going anywhere, mister. Come here. runaway band. Now if we want to loop this over, we have to loop everything that's here first. So we're going to dig down and loop these up. It means that it's going to be difficult for our crossover bands for the next column, but that's okay. We are good enough at this. We can fix it. So loop that into here and then take that back and place here. Alright. Loop up and place that there. Now from here to here we're going to need another set of bands. So I'm going to take 2 yellow bands, and before I put these 2 back here, I'm going to lift those off and I'm going to put 2 bands there like that to go across to the next one. So what I'm going to do for here is hold these 2 bands, dig down, find the 2 top and loop them across like that, and I'm just going to leave those like that. Dig down, find the 2 top bands here and loop to the side. And let's loop these up and up. And now we figure we can find these 2 blue bands and loop those up just like that. I can take this off the loom very carefully. I don't want those to go anywhere. Push these down so they're safe. This column can come off now and move over here. Now it's not going to sit flush with these. It's going to be one up. Okay, just one up. You're going to take 2 blue bands and place them here, and the 2 that are sitting here get moved onto that peg. Okay, we're going to put another 2 blue bands here, and then we start to lay the bands for our next column. Now, where we had this one here, what we're going to do is go under, there we are, and it's going to move across to down here. Alright, but we're not done with that yet because we still need to put our coloured bands. So white goes here, and then we can move the yellow onto it like that. Now the other thing to remember is that we have another yellow that's coming up here. Alright, and so that has to go under there like that, so that that's trapped in. Okay. So 3 white, let's do some green. Now, here we have a tricky little situation because this has already happened, but we need one to go between here. So what we're going to do is flatten 2 green bands out like that, and we're going to poke it down the middle. It's a she. Poke it down the middle here of these yellow bands, and you're going to hold the top here, and you want to grab, well, you can do it this way as well, grab the end of those bands and pull them through like that. Okay, one side is going to go here, those 2 bottom ones, and then the 2 top ones you're going to make sure it goes around the back side of this peg, but they're going to sit like that. Okay, now the other thing that we need to do is drag these crossover bands over, and because they haven't got one to sit on that is in line with them, they're just going to sit on the one above it. like so. Now, as I mentioned, we don't have a crossover band from here to here, so we're going to take a single band, and it has to go between these two. See how this is between them? It has to go between here. So take a single band, and we're going to drag one side there and flick it across. Put one side on here, go through, grab the band, you want it under that, and it's going to sit underneath like this. Okay, you're also going to have one going from here to here, and again you have to do the same thing. You're going to want it to sit on top of this, go through the middle where these white bands are, push your hook through here like that, pull it through so that you've got it either side, put it on that band, and then it has to sit on here. Now to get it to go down, wiggle your hook around the outside of the peg and it will find its correct position. Okay, so we've done that. We need eyes from here to here, and we need an ear here. So for eyes, we're going to take googly eyes. Now the size that I have got is 1/2 inch. These are 1/2 inch. Okay, turn them on the back. If you're a child, please get a grown-up to do this. If you're a grown-up that is particularly clumsy, get another grown-up to do it. My other grown-up is at work, so I have to do it. Pierce these with the scissors or the knife, and you're gently going to do 2 scours down each of the eyes like that. Taking a fine hook, or you can use a metal threader. I do have a metal threader. Poke your hook through like that. Okay, we're going to find a yellow band, and we're going to move this eye so that we can thread that through like so. Let's do the same to the other side. Oh, we broke that one. I did that too close together. You see my lines are too close together, so I'm going to get another one. Let's see what I can find. Here we go, that's the same size. Let's try that again. So I'll make this wider. 1 and 2. That looks a little bit healthier. Alright, push my hook through and out the other side like that. Grab a yellow band and pull it through like so. Now with these eyes, you want one of them to be on the underside, okay? And to do that, what we're really going to need to do is have it go under the crossover band. So put it under the crossover bands. Here's our first one there, like that. And then I'm just going to take this one off and place it. And you want it to go under those yellow bands, okay? Because it's going to be on the other side. And then this top one can just sit on top of those crossover bands like that. We're going to need an ear. Take a single band, wrap it once and twice. Take a double band and slide on and reclaim the end. Another double band, slide on, but we're not going to reclaim the end first for this. We're going to take another double band and slide the 2 loops that were left on a hook onto it, and now we're going to reclaim like that. So we now have 3 sets of loops on. Take the middle pair and you're going to move it up and over and off. Take the pair closest to you, up, over and off. And that is going to be our first little ear. Now our first little ear needs to go, oh Kate, up, over and off. Thank you very much. Alright, I'm going to release this crossover band for a second and I'm going to take this pair of bands off. This ear needs to be on this peg here. Alright, and then we're going to put these bands back and then move the crossover band back, and we're going to do another ear. Single band, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair and reclaim, slide onto, if you can, another pair, but we're not reclaiming. Okay, we're going to leave it like that. Take another pair, put them on the end of your hook. We're taking these 2 up, over and off and reclaiming, and then finding the 2 that we left behind and putting them on. Take the 2 that are in the middle, up, over and off, the 2 closest to you, up, over and off, and we will place this on this peg as well, like that. Now we also need to put arms here, and we need them for both sides. So just like with the feet, we're going to take a pair and wrap once and twice, slide onto the yellow. I'm going to do this another 2 times. A pair, wrap once and twice, slide on to a yellow, a pair of brown, wrap once and twice, slide on to a yellow. Now we're going to take a pair of the yellow and move these all on. Reclaim the end of your bands, and now we're going to do 4 more pair. So here's our first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to go on this set here. I'm going to take my hook out. I'm removing this crossover band for a second, taking this pair down, and I'm going to place this here, and I'm going to push it so that it's down. And let's replace these white bands and the crossover band. Like that. Let's do another arm. 2 brown, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair of yellow, 2 brown, wrap once and twice, slide on to a pair of yellow and 2 brown, wrap once and twice, slide on to a pair of yellow and reclaim. Take a pair of yellow and we'll slide everything on. Replace the ends. We need 4 more pair. 1, 2, 3, that, and that's going to sit here, right there. Okay, so we've looped up here nearly all the way. We haven't quite looped up to here. We're going to loop there. Now for the eyes we need to be careful. We don't want to loop those in yet because we need to be on this column. So what we're going to do is dig down and find these two blue ones here and loop that across. I know we're going to have to lift this up to loop this one in, but that's okay. Let's take the snout off our loom very carefully. You don't want to lose any bands, okay? And then we can take this column here off as well. Make sure everything's pushed down. The legs can come off, that's fine. And we're going to turn our loom over and move our big base plate across one and take this column of pegs off and move it across. It is going to sit lower than the middle. Okay, so we had two that were doing nothing. We're going to put another two to do nothing right here, and then the two that are doing nothing we will put on that peg, and we will try and be careful of this ear. Alright, let's now, we're going to be using blue. Get the ear out of the way. Two blue. Two blue. Two blue. Now I want another pair of blue to go out this way as well. Alright, so I'm going to put the blue on, and then what I need to do as well is to have two blue on top of those going from here to here, and I also need these to go from here to here. Okay, so these are going to go on the next column when we're ready for it. Let's place our blues. Once again, we need a pair of blue to go from here to here, so we're going to gently lift up those, okay, and put that like that, and put these back in place like so. Now for the rest of the tail we need three more, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to put an end cap, which I'm just going to wrap a single band around my hook twice, oops, and drop it all and place that here on the end like that. Okay, let's grab our crossover bands, and they are going to sit on the peg below this time. Okay, that's going there, this is going to here, to here. If I look under this ear, and the ear is supposed to be sitting up, not down, that's going to go there, like so. Alright, we're going to start looming up this column because I want this to move across to here. So dig down, find the two top blue, and actually let's just do one more thing first. Let's loop up this tail here. So dig down, and the reason I say that is because we want that to go here, and then these two top blue to go here like that. Grab the green and loop up. I'm going to just loop these in so that this bit is secure. Loop up There's quite a lot of bands on here. We need to dig down and find the bottom 2 white and loop up. I'm going to unloop this one and put that back here. Okay, I'm going to take the top 2 yellow bands and loop to the side here, and I'm going to take these 2 and loop to the side here. This can go up and up, and this, if you dig down, can go up as well. Now we need to loop the eyes. What we're looking for are the 2 bands. There's the bottom 2 and then there's another set. Okay, you're going for the top pair that you can find. You can take them both at the same time, stretch them out and make sure that this top eye is above them, like that. It needs to be above. Okay, grab the bottom 2 gold bands here, or yellow bands, move them over. Again, you want the eye to be above that. There we are. Now this is where we're going to hold this out to the side, dig down, find the 2. I found one, let's find the other. There we are. Yellow bands, loop them up and then put our blue band back. Alright, let's finish looping this up. Dig down, find the 2 bottom blue bands and loop up, and again bottom 2 blue bands and loop up. This column is now okay to come off our loom. Again, you want to do it gently, you don't want these bands to go walkabout. Okay, push everything down to make sure that you're keeping everything in its right spot. Move your loom upside down and let's put our last base plate move into place. Grab the column and we will move it. Oh, I can see there's a crossover band I didn't, a couple of crossover bands I didn't let go. 1 and 2 and 3. That would have been silly. And this goes the same height as the one in front of it. Now you're going to take the 2 that were doing nothing and move them here. We don't need to do any more for the next column because there is no next column. Over there, and this one goes over here. Let's loop this up. We've already done the tail, so I'm digging down here. Grab the 2 top, which are going to go to the side. If I can get them. I suppose it would help if I was using a hook that actually had a deeper hook to it. There we go. They go up. 1 and 2. Now these are on, these ones are on the bottom, these ones are on the top, which means you need to grab these ones from the top point here and loop them down to this one. This is where we tie off at. Okay, so grab 2 more blue bands, poke your hook down the middle of this one here, out through the side. Twist your hook so that the smooth side goes against the bands and it doesn't get snagged. Reclaim the end of your bands and we're going to pull that over and off and pull tight, and let's see what we have. 2 ears on one side. That's alright, it just snuck through. We can sneak it back. It will look a bit odd until you stretch it into shape. It, he, him. Okay, so this ear ended up on the other side. So what we need to do is splay open where the ear should be and poke it back through the right way. There we go. And just stretch it into shape. Like so. Stretch the nose into shape. The eyes are good. What we're going to do is this little tail, and we're going to take these, dig down through the center here of his head until you find the two blue bands, and drag these back through like that. Now if you want to use it as a keychain, you don't obviously have to do that, but if you're using him as a little action figure, you just want to discreetly hide those tie-off bands, and the way I like to do it is by hiding them under existing bands. Come on, little pumpkin, under there. There we go. Alright, so he is actually done as far as 2D figures are concerned. Okay, if we were just doing a 2D figure, he is ready to go. However, you might like to give him a rounded, fat little tummy. And if you do, we will make a ball in the next video, and I will show you how to add that to him. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.